has a PPL, you may even be required to finance your own CPL.
Oh.
Yeah.
And only rely on established airlines to get an ATPL and a rating for that particular aircraft. So more and more, particularly low-cost carriers, are trying to hire only pilots that have a CPL, at least financed by themselves. And there are now more and more training organizations in ASEAN, at least, and elsewhere, where the intake of students is at CPL level. They don't train them anymore for PPL or CPL. They have to be their own CPL. Bring your own CPL, sort of thing.
Right.
Yes, and then you are trained to ATPL level, and only then you are shipped off to the airline. So the airline expects, particularly low-cost carriers, expect an ATPL as the basis of recruitment of a pilot. That means those young people have to finance upwards of $50,000 or even $100,000 to get an ATPL first.
To start.
And that is very difficult for most individuals to burden. And there are not, even at that level, there aren't enough training institutions that can take CPL holders and bring them to ATPL level. So more training institutions are required, and more these are no longer airline based. These are outsourced training institutions. And in ASEAN, the issue right now is that there are countries that are well experienced and well resourced to train such pilots, but their license is not easily recognized in other countries.
Right.
And so, for example, Philippines is a major source of pilots these days in ASEAN at ATPL level, but ATPLs are not easily recognized, so there needs to be a mutual recognition process in place between the 10 ASEAN states, and for airlines then to be able to take those ATPL license holders and give them the rating that they require. And there are, within the open sky arrangements of the ASEAN Economic Community, there are movements afoot to allow this kind of mutual recognition between the 10 ASEAN states, just as we have in Europe. In Europe we have mutual recognition of such licenses, whether they come from Croatia or they come from Spain or Germany. Once they have managed to achieve a license to a given standard, a standard issued by EASA, then they are easily convertible or acceptable, and then easily trainable to the ratings they require.